If you know, you know. Hey campers, Georgia. Driving around and looking seen for ice. Yeah, check it out. Finally, we got ice. Wee diddly thin, but it's there and it's building. Temperatures are dropping quickly. It's a blistering 17 degrees right now out here, and the wind's blowing. So the chill factor is down. Already my hands are cold. See all the stones lying on there? Yeah, people checking how deep, how thick. That was one of the reasons I'm out trudging around here. The other reason is, well, I got me 2 new knives. Marbles knives. I like marbles. Very inexpensive for what you get. The quality, it's not as good as Rough Rider, but their prices are really good. I like some of the stuff they make. They really come out with some nice traditional historic style knives, which I like, you know, like the GI knives and that sort of thing. I've been buying a couple every year for a long time, and I've been working on a series from them. It's the Orange G10 series, and I'd have 2 that I got a couple of weeks ago, and thought I'd share them with you. A little unusual, both of them, and that's pretty typical for marbles. And this is the G10 Orange series. I like them. I really like the orange handles on them. I don't know what it is. Orange just appeals to me. It's a good attractor for me. Plus, if I put it down, it's easy to find. So let's have a quick look. And while I do that, I'll share some other stuff with you. Winter's coming to Minnesota in a big time right now. It's late, but it's here. You know, the temperatures are down. They're going to be dropping even further. We're going to get into the low 10s next week. Well, this week coming up. And that's going to help the ice. The guys will be out fishing next weekend for sure if this stays like this. They won't be driving out. They'll be out in their 4-wheelers or walking out. But they'll get out there. I wish. You never know. One of the things I want to cover with you, I'm just out, got up this morning and I thought, let's go and have a look at Cedar and see what the ice is looking like. And I thought I'd share with you what I carry with me when I do something like this. This is just jumping in the truck, the banger, and driving out somewhere and having a quick look. Even so, it's fairly urban here. You can see behind there's houses and stuff like that. I'm right on the edge of Cedar Lake. And even so, getting out here, it's 10 miles from my place. You never know what could happen. But I carry certain things with me, and I'll share them with you for this kind of a trip. Depending what I'm doing, depends on what I'm carrying. Let's look at these marbles. That's what you call being in the right place at the right time. I was trying to do some videography things and the birds arrived. How about that? So I'm at the boat ramp, and there's really nowhere for me to sit down and do a review. So I thought, tailgate. Let's do a tailgate review. It's a wee diddly chilly. And I got my gloves on. I got to take them off to show you the stuff my hands are gonna freeze. The things I do for you guys. Gloves, a must in Minnesota in winter. So what I've got here is, like I said, I got 2 knives from Marbles that I wanted to add to a collection that I'd chosen. I wanted that collection from Marbles. I have 1 on order. When that comes in, a complete collection. Here's the one that I got. This is the first one. And you can see they all come in that orange box with the marbles, all that stuff. They all look the same. Thought I'd show you this one first. It's pretty cool. Look at that. Yeah. A mini leg knife. Very cool. It's tiny and unusual. Not a lot of manufacturers put this traditional style out. And you can see you have the shape of the leg. It has the G10 handle on it with this black badge, just a blank black badge on it. You see that? And you can see the shoe, the boot. I thought it unusual. I don't own one. Now I do. Just happened to be part of the collection. You can see the blazer, saberish, big drop off. Maybe a clip. I'm shaking. I'm so cold. It has the match strike nail nick on it, and you can see the Marbles logo. Not a big fan of that. It's the only thing I don't like that Marbles does. And you can see on the Ricasso there, they put the Marbles badge as well. This is 448 stainless steel, pretty typical for traditional knives by the makers. G10 handle, like I said, in the shape of a lady's leg. Now, it doesn't mean to say it has to be a lady's knife. It is small, would be great for their purse. Keep it in their purse, handy to have. Nice sharp point there, clean stuff. Pretty sharp blade, and it's not very big. Stainless, like I said, 440A, so you don't have to worry about the maintenance on it. Yeah, it's chilly. My hands are frozen. Very cool. Not very big at all. You can see it in my hand here. If I hold it there, it's tiny. It does have a half stop on it like this, and clips closed. It does not lock, so it's just a slip joint. Pretty typical for your traditional knives, and you can see it there. Very cool. So that's that one, the leg knife. Very cool. The other one that I got is one that I did a short on. I was just going to do shorts with these guys, but then I thought, you know what, it's part of my collection. I'll share it with you, and then when I have the whole collection, we'll quickly go through and have a look at all of them. Here's the other one. Yeah, another unusual one, not very common amongst the makers. Has the same as the leg knife. You can see the series. It's the G10 orange handle, has the black highlights on it. Of course, they use nickel silver pins and that sort of thing. No bolsters on these. For some reason, they called the Reaper. Look at that. Look at this blade. Man, that can do some damage. You can see the shape there, that S shape. Very cool. Very cool. Same thing, 448 stainless steel, has the nail nick on it and the Marbles label. And these are all made in China, obviously. 90% of this style, they do that. The ones I can afford anyway. Look at that blade. Very unusual, has that scythe look to it. Kind of tools they used back in the day for agriculture, cutting down. Today, this is a popular gardening knife. Very nice for cutting off fruit and that sort of thing from the tree, trimming your trees, cutting your fruit, veggies, that sort of thing. People that have their own garden, so that's what it's really popular about. Funnily enough, when I did the short on this, Sue Chicken, you remember Sue Chicken? She sent me all those whittlers to have a look at. She contacted me and said, "What are you doing with my garden knife?" Love that lady. She's funny. Big Rough Rider fan. The Reaper from Marbles. Now, if you're wondering what I paid for these things, you're going to be horrified. That much for the Reaper, that much for the leg. You can't beat those prices. I mean, it's smooth, it's clean, they look pretty, they're well made. I don't know how they're doing it for that price. So if you're looking for an inexpensive way to get a series of knives, Marbles, just saying. They don't just have these, they have other series as well. I just like the orange G10 handle. So there you go. Can't beat them with a big stick. Now I can't feel a thing in my hands. Speaking of being cold, Minnesota weathers, I have to change the way I do things now when I go outdoors. Pretty obvious. We get some pretty low temperatures here, a lot of snow, that sort of thing. So obviously you need a good jacket. Got to have a good jacket, and you want to dress in layers, pretty standard. I personally, this is a duck. It's called duck something, wet duck, dry duck jacket. Very similar to the Carhartt ones you get. pretty sturdy, can take a lot of abuse. It has that really thick canvasy type material, very warm, a couple of 100 pockets on it, which I need. Then underneath I have a heavy duty sweat, what do you call it, I don't know what you would call that. And underneath you see the black here, those are called heat. My eldest daughter got them for me. They are like long underwear, and they rated at about 40 degrees, and you can get the pants and the shirt, very thin, very comfortable, and not too much. You don't sweat, as much in them. So those are my layers. If it gets warm, I can take my jacket off and I've still got 2 layers on me. Gloves, gotta have good gloves. The number one thing people do wrong, they're like, well, what about wool knitted gloves? Not when it's windy, blows right through. So get yourself a good pair of gloves. These are leather gloves. These are fairly tight, easy to handle things with it. They padded, they're not perfect. Wouldn't take these ice fishing. I have ice fishing gloves, but this is just coming into winter. Temperatures are starting to drop. You don't need the heavy stuff. The other thing I carry always, as soon as I start to see snow or ice, that's these guys. Cleats. Yeah, cleats for my boots. It gets slippery out here, and at my age I can't afford to fall. Really, anybody can't afford to fall. I always have cleats. I have a pair of cleats, these ones actually, in my truck all the time in winter. Never leaves my truck. If I'm going camping, something like that, I have a pair in my pack. They just slip onto your boots. I'll put links below. I think I've done some reviews on them. On anything I'm talking about, I'll put a link below. And very handy to have. There's different kinds. When I go on the ice actually and go ice fishing, these, let me open these up for you. They're just in a bag. I've had these for a couple of years. Look at that. And these are the diamond ones. They're called the diamond. You see that? And they work really great. They grip in all directions because of the shape of this, and it has a rubber outer ring, so you just pop it onto the bottom of your boot and you're good to go. Now there's a lot of different manufacturers out there. These guys I really like. They work, they're reasonably priced, and they last a long time. Look how rusty these things are getting. They're still good enough. You want to make sure that they still spin. As long as they spin, you're good to go. The ones on the ice, however, are spikes. They're actually longer, spiked. They dig into the ice really well. Got to get used to them though, because if you don't pick your feet up, the spikes catch the ice and down you go. Number one thing besides good clothing, I do, just so everybody knows, have an emergency backpack. My emergency car carry for winter, emergency blanket, heavy clothing, socks, a possibles pouch, fire lighter, flashlight, spare pair of gloves, that sort of thing. Always in my truck in winter, no matter where you're going. If I'm going to work, it's a little remote. It's not very long. I'm 20 minutes from work. But if you slip off the road early in the morning and I'm going to work and you're stuck on the road and it's cold and your truck dies on you, you want to stay warm. Got all the stuff I need to keep me warm until somebody comes by. People think I'm paranoid. I'm just safe. If you're not doing that, you should. As you know, in summer, in my truck, I always have a fly rod and some fishing stuff. It doesn't change for winter. My flip over is always in the truck for the whole of winter. You never know when there might be a patch of ice on the road and, well, you might be able to fish it. A really quick look at what I carry for early winter. Another thing I always have on me, I have a knife. You can see there. This is just a quick walkabout, not really planning on going anywhere in the middle of nowhere. I might change my mind going back and see something. I tend to wander off the trail. I have here my optional folding saw. This is for today, by the way. The knife I'm carrying is my optional. I modified, the very first one I modified. Basically made it a drop point, and you can see it there. And of course I have a dangler on it, and that is on me. And of course it's an optional day today, so probably an optional week. Always saw, knife. With both of these I can do a lot. Another thing, these pants I'm wearing, they're actually insulated, and I get them at the local hardware store. Yeah, hardware store. They're insulated pants with extra pockets. This one has this pocket here, and as you can see, I have a very small possibles pouch that I carry with me, and in it, I'm in Minnesota, so it's a Vikings lighter. Laundry lint. Need to fill it again with petroleum jelly. Of course, my favorite Eric's Light ferro rod, another little ferro rod, some tinder, rope, hemp. A blower helps get the fire going in winter. And then of course I need a knife to strike it. Well, it just so happens that my optional here, yay for optional, has a pretty sharp edge on it. Don't forget to lock it when you're doing it, because you're turning the knife this way and it closes that way. And make sure it's locked. Lots of sparks. Can start a fire and keep myself warm. The number one thing you need to do in Minnesota in winter is keep yourself warm. Hence emergency blankets, fire starters, and that sort of thing. So there's a quick look at what I typically carry on a quick trip like this. Not planning on spending the day out, just going and looking at something quickly and coming back. A day hike for me, that's a different story. I carry more. By the way, always have coffee. Quick trip like this, I make myself a cup of coffee at home and bring it, sitting in the car. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back. Just thought I'd stop by while looking at the ice and do an outdoor review like I promised. Hey, 2024, the way it will be. So now you know. You all be safe out there, especially in the cold weather like this. Not only are there sharp and shiny things around, it gets a wee diddly chilly. You want to make sure you're ready for it. Just saying. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.